Are you practicing properly? Well, that is the point of discussion for today's lesson. If you are going to be following up with all the lessons, please do like and subscribe. That being said, I've been placing lesson 1, lesson 2, and this is the third lesson. If you want more lessons or have more access to recordings, performances, videos, vlogs, please do like and subscribe to my channel. That being said, what do I mean by practicing properly? Actually, the truth is, there's no single way of practicing. And there's no template for practicing. It's actually customized according to your needs and timeline. So, what am I proposing to you? Well, if you're practicing, are you practicing with the correct mindset? Some of us practice for the sake of practicing, or for the sake of a teacher's guide, or we don't have an end goal in mind. So with the end goal, you have to approach practice from a very solution-based or a diagnostic-based approach. This is very important. So you should be asking yourself questions. Why are you practicing? Which areas are you weak at? And what is your timeline? What is your commitment level? If it's high commitment, you can put in more practice aspects, more perspectives to practice. And importantly, always be patient and enjoy the process. Right? So I've surveyed some flute students and flautists, and they have shared with me some of their common problems while playing the flute. And for this lesson, I'm going to be addressing two main areas where you can explore and of course use my practice methodologies to improve these aspects. Just bear in mind there are thousands of exercises, and you can customize all these exercises according to your need, to your time, to your scope. So there are many various perspectives to this. Let's delve deep into the lesson. So the first one, it's called a tone-oriented practice, where tone is an important aspect of an instrument. In fact, everyone listens out to the tone, the tonal quality. So to improve tonal quality, especially whether it's a bansuri, western flute, or the Indian Carnatic Venu, all you need to know is make sure you do long tone exercises. So there are many aspects of long tone exercises, but for this, I want to challenge you. How long can you hold a particular note? So let's say you take a scale, mode, or raga. Let's go into taking Bilawal. I'm going to take one note and hold as long as possible. Take a deep breath. And then take a deep breath, rest. Take a deep breath for the second note. So on and so forth. So for the entire raga. So what do you get out of doing this long tone? Actually, your tones develop. Your tone becomes clearer, cleaner. So instead of getting sounds like, you get you can even play around with the tone, warm tone. So if you realize there's a lot of differences even in the way you portray the tone, which determines how you render the raga. So that is long tone exercise. Just imagine it's an important exercise to build your tone. The second tip that I can give you for today's lesson will be dexterity. How do you get speed and accuracy when you play fast phrases or even slow phrases on the flute? Accuracy is the key. So to develop accuracy, there are thousands of exercises. For today's context, we're going to talk about Swaravali Varisegal. So I'm very sure Swaravali Varisegal is a fundamental exercise from the Carnatic music system. So you can take, let's say, the first line. Today, for demonstration purpose, I can't be playing all the 14 variations in 3 speeds, and then I will be showing it to you. I will take the first line. I'll show you how you can play in 3 speeds. And of course, not only speed, you also must ensure in various articulation. I would present maybe perhaps another video in the coming time on how do you articulate as well. It's an important facet. For this, let's say you can take the first scale. You can do this exercise another key in all the flute: Bansuri, Venu, Western flute. I'm just showing the Bansuri for an example. I'll show you how you can apply over the other flutes as well. So if you take Swaravali Varisegal, sari 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 gama pa da ni sa sa ni da pa sa ni da pa ma ga re sa. This line, do it slow, of course with a metronome. In this context, I'm not showing you with a metronome because it's just a demonstration. When you come to practice, remember to use a metronome. Set to 4/4 and maybe start with a slow speed at maybe perhaps 60, and then you do this exercise. Of course, you can do in various articulation, but before we get there, second speed. Third speed. So on and so forth. So you can slowly move up the speed cycle from 60, maybe you can make it to 70 as the base relative speed, 80, 90, and so on and so forth. So what does that mean about articulation? Of course, these exercises can be done in articulation as well. So what you heard was a mixture of tonguing and slur. So if you're doing just slur, it would sound like this. If you're doing tonguing, staccato tonguing, if you're doing can do many, you can do it even in double tongue. That's the double tongue, so you can do can do probably triple. Now you can do flutter. Each of this tonguing just develops one facet of playing. It's just building a basic dexterity and technique. So we have seen Swaravali in 3 speeds and how you play in various articulation. That being said, how do you counter apply to all the types of flute? So you saw I did in Bilawal on the Bansuri. You can do Hari Kamboji on the Carnatic flute. So you can do so on and so forth, and of course in various articulation. so on and so forth. So this very basic exercise is very important to understand how your tongue and the flute works, the relationship between these two functions. All right, so we have seen, so that's on the Indian flute. If you want to know how I apply onto the Western flute, so this is how I counter apply onto the Western flute. So if we take into a major scale, let's do Hari Kamboji. Let's do C. Then you can do that kind of variations if you realize how I use that same exercise across the flutes. Basically, that's how I customize exercises. Exercises can be customized according to your needs. So a recap of what we covered today, and a proper understanding of how are you practicing properly and why are you practicing, where are you weak at, finding out your weaknesses, and of course allocating your practice according to the amount of time you have. And then next, always remember to be patient and trust the process. It's a long-term process, and always go with the flow of the process. Don't rush anything or rush any technicalities. They take time to develop. So after surveying, we identified two major concerns when it comes to playing the flute. Firstly, it's tone development, and secondly, how do I get dexterity on the flute, the speed, control, and accuracy. So we discussed long tone exercises, how you can do long tone exercises. I couldn't do the entire long tone exercises in the interest of time. And then we did dexterity, where I showed you how Swaravali Varisegal can be played in 3 speeds relative. You can start with 60 BPM, move on to 70, 80, and 90. And then we saw how that Swaravali Varisegal can be played on the Bansuri, Venu, and the Western flute. It can be applied on any flute, even on the keyboard, vocal, anywhere. It's a universal exercise. We also saw how Swaravali Varisegal can be performed or played in various articulations, starting with slur, tonguing, and even some double tonguing, triple tonguing, fluttering. So once you have explored all these functions, you will get better with these basic technicalities and a better control of the flute. So if you want more, hit the like button and subscribe to get more content from my channel. I will be posting out lessons, of course, vlogs about my personal journey as a musician, music director, as well as a creative director. And you also would share my journey or the learning journeys with teachers and gurus, as well as interesting recordings, performances, music directorial, film background scores. Everything will be accessible in one stop from my channel. So don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you so much.